Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com. It's about time I did another behind the scenes, an open vault, if you will. So just a reminder, this is a two-part video. The first I'm going to walk through and show what we're doing here and kind of talk about upcoming things like Adepticon. We're going to Adepticon. Make sure you come and see us there. And then the second part, which is accessible only by Vault members and YouTube members, is I'm going to spend more time on one subject. So last time I did that, I talked about the equipment that we had for our new style battle reports. And then I asked people in the comments, what would you like to see in the future ones? And there was a lot of people that mentioned they'd like to see more details about the print farm that we have running and talk more about all of that. So I'm going to do that in the next video, which will be available right now for Vault members and YouTube members. So you can go check that out. That one will just be about kind of walking through there and going through the details and how that all works. And so other than that, I'm going to walk around the building and show you a few fun things that are happening and things that are coming up and things that we are working on. For example, right here, the one studio is being transformed. Don't want to knock over that light. And Dave is actually converting this studio with Michael's help to make some new shows that he's working on. So there'll be like talk shows, there'll be hobby shows, that kind of stuff too. So he's really getting into all that kind of stuff and getting excited for that. So that's what's happening right there. So let's take a look down the hallway at what else is going on. In the B-roll room, kind of see our setup for that. We can talk about that some other time. But we have been working a lot on Ravaged Star. So we got their Veil Touch, we got tons of Amari and Gorkog. The playtesting of that has been going full steam ahead. If you want to help out, go to miniwargaming.com/RavagedStar. And the rules are all available for free and all of that fun stuff. And right now you can still pre-order everything at miniwargaming.com/GetRavagedStar at our GameFound thing as well. One thing I've been trying to figure out what to do about is storage, because we have so much terrain and we do use most of it, but there's some stuff that we don't. And you know, shipping it would be hard and selling it and all that. Or selling some of our excess armies and models, old stuff that we no longer use, or just armies that have been updated and we just have changed all of that. So let us know in the comments below if you'd be interested in us selling that kind of stuff or auctioning it off so you guys can grab some of that and see what you want to do with it. Also want to take a second to just talk about Adepticon. So next week we will be going to Adepticon in Chicago. And we do have a booth there for Ravaged Star and for MiniWarGaming. And so if you want to come see us, we're at booth number 600. It's at the very back of the hall, so you can find us there. But we're going to be running demos of the game and showing off the models and even selling some of the stuff from the first campaign. We had some extras left over, and so we're bringing that with us to Chicago, and you can actually buy some of the Veil Touch miniatures there and get your hands on some of the stuff from the very first campaign. The second campaign is actually going quite well. So far, no delays at the factory. In fact, I think we're ahead of schedule. It's Chinese New Year right now, I think, or it finished recently. And so there wasn't much happening in February, but other than that, everything is going the way that we had expected. Also, my Tyranid force continues to expand. I don't know how many points I'm up to now, probably like 5,000 or 6,000, as I'm getting ready for the Grand Narrative event in Atlanta. That's not till November, but I got a lot of stuff to get ready for because I'm working on trying to get tons of other people to come with me and bring Tyranids. I already have a lot of people, I think about 15, who are actually matching my color scheme so we can have one gigantic Tyranid army. So if you're interested in that, just email me, Matthew@miniwargaming.com. Even if you're not ready to commit yet, or if you're thinking, well, that would be fun, let's go to a narrative together and have one large hive mind faction of Tyranids and Gene Stealer cults. Have to be a little quieter as I come this way because they're currently recording an old world battle report. Wait till they're not recording and then talk to them for a second.
All right, well, I got two. They only have shields, though.
2 6
Sixes. That's 3 dead dwarves. Not enough for panic.
Not enough for panic.
Not enough.
Cut.
All right, so they just said cut. So we're just doing a little bit of behind the scenes right now. What's going on? Steve's like, what's going on?
Yeah, strength.
He's not used to being on camera.
Their bows are strength user?
Yeah.
That's a weird bow. I don't hate it. I'm just
Well, it's like a compound bow. It's like the stronger you are, the stronger it is.
I guess
but
they have,
that's not exactly how those work, but whatever.
Elven. Well, I mean, it's got a lot of weight behind the pull, right?
Sure. So you guys are doing Wood Elves versus Beastmen?
It's a classic matchup. Just on the some definitely not in Othello Red because you know we can actually I guess you could imagine it's really dark and there's a giant canopy over us, I suppose.
Well, it's like the dirty forest dwellers, and then
Yeah.
the beastmen is against the beastmen.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Exactly that.
Yeah, and this is a couple thousand points or 1,500 points. What is it?
2,000.
This is 2K. Yeah.
Awesome.
But me and Steve have been pondering about getting up to 2,500. Just it's so quick to play 2K now with all the rules.
Once you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
I know that for my first few games, the game did take a while because you have to keep looking up little details.
Technically, we like 2,400 because we're lazy and it keeps the percentages like clean. Or instead of 625
We
or
beat
500 points.
Luca. We beat Luca.
Because
Yeah.
it's 25% and 50%
Correct. Yeah, so you
and
just put
70%.
600 points a core instead of 625. Not that it matters.
Right,
it's
because
just
that's really
easier.
hard. That's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
Because don't you just use the army builder thing online? What's it called?
I use
Old World.
I use Old World.
Oldworldbuilder.com?
Yeah, I like that one. It has some, had some irregularities in the stats early on, but that's going to happen. There's so much data to input, right? It's getting better, though, and it's got all the special rules there, too, which is nice. A little suspect, but, it is what it is.
Hey, third party, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
So
not charging for anything.
That's true.
They're not charging for a dime.
That's true.
yeah. It's a tough one because like if Games Workshop provides a good app, then I'll use that because like 40K, the app is great.
I like the 40K. Actually,
The Age of Sigmar one is decent.
That little like
I think
bunker thing they did, too, was a great update.
They're both the modern 40K, like the current 40K app is amazing. So is the Sigmar one.
Yeah.
The last one didn't work. But
Oh, no, that was
the
awful.
current ones, both are awesome.
Yeah, give them time, right? Yeah.
Well, and a nice thing about the company making the app is that it gets updated as often as possible.
You know what I miss?
What do you
Last
miss?
year? Remember that one for Sigmar?
Is he-
Yeah, I actually really like that one.
That was
my
second
favorite.
edition.
Yeah.
I really like that one. I do think that there's improvements in the newer ones now.
Oh, I think.
But I did like that the books were all in there.
Yeah.
That like it was. Although the 40K one, you got to admit, it's like nicely organized once you get
Well,
used to
it
it.
took a few months, but it's pretty good now. It's in a really good spot right now. I like
Yeah.
it. Actually, I use it. I used to never use it. I use it exclusively.
The thing that surprises me is why Games Workshop didn't make an old world builder.
It's a specialty game.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if one guy can do it in his basement.
Yeah.
There's
Well, I mean,
not-
it depends on what the budget is.
There
right?
isn't one
Yeah.
for Heresy either.
But that gets me. You say it depends what their budget is.
I don't know.
I have to tell you, just behind the scenes and the
I
little
imagine
the little
an app
rinky
is
dink thing.
expensive to make.
No, the rinky dink thing that we're doing,
Something-
making
No, so-
making the app. Well,
Listen the obvious.
what's the obvious?
The average age of players, they can't figure out how to.
You're not your this is right. No, I think there's
All
a
of us
thing-
old fogies can't figure out how to use
I
the
think
apps.
Games
I can
Workshop,
figure them out.
or maybe the world is still figuring out that apps are a thing of the past.
Well, it doesn't have to be an app
Apps are a thing of the past.
Exactly, I think that's a thing of the past. I think
Oh.
you can now replicate what these apps do
On a
in
website.
browsers nowadays.
Yeah,
So
well,
you
like the
can- you can
D&D
make a browser-
Beyond, for example, is a good example of that. Is
Old
that
World Builder is an amazing browser. Like
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Its memory cache is amazing. Like it's just all the lists and everything, and it's just,
oh no, you can totally make it mobile friendly and responsive and all that kind of stuff. And so there's no reason because honestly, it would take one person not very long to do that. And so they would be spending no more than thousands of dollars to make
I
one.
think Josh is right though, because like Heresy still doesn't have a good web browser app or army builder, and Old World had one up for the game.
no
was
way, dude.
released.
It's all good. It's a wait. Yeah, no kidding, right? Like look at that.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, because we can't claim that BattleScribe is a very simple program to use. That thing it can be a
That
pain.
was a relic of the past.
Yeah, but Battlescribe. I was gonna say Battlescribe's been around for easily around 15 years now. I
Oh yeah. I'm not saying it's not good.
So
I'm
even
just saying
the-
that the argument that like these apps don't have to be that complicated.
Yeah.
It wasn't the standard. Remember that thing we used to use?
Army Builder.
No, before that.
Oh geez, Army
Like
Builder.
software on your computer.
Yeah, that was Army Builder.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's called Army Builder.
Wolf something? Wasn't there a wolf in it?
Yeah, Wolflair I think is the name of the
Oh,
company.
Wolf was the that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's Army Builder.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
The funny thing about Battlescribe is like, you have like, it came out 15 years ago and you got like the veterans of the games playing it from 15 years ago and they're older now and they're like, it's kind of like, I just miss using DOS. It's like DOS is so much better than Windows.
I think that, but that's my whole point though, is that the cost of making these things is not super high. So a big company like that, a tiny bit of their budget towards making an app, you might think, well, there's the maintenance of it. It's like, well, you have to maintain all your FAQs and erratas anyway. You're just talking about one person doing a bit of data entry
I actually don't
to
know
up. Like
that.
every time there's an FAQ, one person has to go in and spend an hour or two doing some data entry.
Can they make money off of it?
Well, yeah.
How?
Well, you don't have to make money directly off of it, but the idea is that it supports the hobby and then people play it more.
But they don't have to do it because somebody else will.
But somebody else, they don't have control of that. And so, like, the rules could be wrong, things could be... There's just
Well,
no...
he's doing a pretty good job of doing this stuff for...
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that they need to make an app that integrates, like, in-app purchases for the books and all that, like how the 40K one kind of does poorly. Because I think the 40K one, you should be able to just buy the digital version and not just have to buy the physical to get the code. Because there's so many...
To reframe, like, I actually like the 40K app for how it functions. I don't like the way it's being implemented.
Yeah, exactly. So they're all have their ups and downs. Anyways, that's an interesting discussion on that topic. But I really do think that the army builder kind of stuff, it's not a huge expense, and it really helps the quality of life. Like for me as a new player, knowing that I could open up that app and quickly build my list was way less stress than trying to write everything out, especially for a game as crunchy as Old World, where you pay for every tiny little thing. That can get annoying to try to calculate yourself.
I enjoyed this.
I always found Battlescribe was kind of like lag, sometimes slow. It was really bad. You know what? It was really bad with horsehairs. It was the worst. It was the worst for horsehairs. Oh my gosh. It was actually kind of that, which made me stop using it. I was so tired of like. It's old and patched and old and like just garbage. Like not garbage. Well, I was able to do my job because of it for so long.
Oh no, yeah.
But now websites are doing the job.
Yeah,
And I can go on that website on my phone. It operates absolutely perfectly, just like the app.
Yeah. No, you definitely, for most companies don't need a separate app. Like people, if somebody's like, well, MiniWarGaming should have an app. It's like maybe for the vault so that people can, because we use Vimeo for it, so maybe so that people can stream it. But the cost of those is a lot higher. But for the website itself, like you just make the website responsive and it will work, whether it's on your phone, tablet, or your PC.
Right.
But anyways, I'll let you guys get back to your game. Don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you guys, you got work to do. So I will walk this way towards my favorite part of the building, the forge. So let's come around here. We'll live in an airplane. We come around and hey, Caleb, sorry, part of the job is you got to be on camera sometimes.
Happens.
Caleb is the newest forge assistant. We have expanded our everything again because we need to. Hey, James. So if you haven't seen it before, this is our print farm. This is the MiniWarGaming Forge. Well, we have more printers actually over in that room, which I'll show you in a second. And we have been non-stop busy printing movement trays and movement tray converters. You're probably tired of hearing me talk about that if you've been watching stuff because we're just printing so many. Like you guys have just been buying so many and supporting us, and that is awesome. Yeah, we had to expand our print farm too. I had to buy more printers. And I say had to. You might think, well, you didn't have to. But the amount of orders that we got in with the 10 printers that we had would have taken months to fulfill. And so I took some of the money we made from that, expanded to 25 FDM printers, and now we're starting to catch up. So I do apologize for those who have put in their orders and are still waiting. We're like roughly 3 weeks behind, I want to say. So if your order was about 3 weeks old, that's when they're getting fulfilled. And we're slowly closing that gap. Because that was how many orders there were. I didn't like that. I want orders to be fulfilled within a week. But print on demand can be tricky because when you get a spike, like I couldn't buy 50 printers, even though that would help me get it done faster, because there's a threshold where you have to do the math and figure out what's worth. Anyways, I don't want to talk too much in here because I'm going to save that for our Vault members. We'll have a more in-depth discussion about that. But we got lots of stuff being printed. Got lots of Ravaged Star stuff being printed to go out to painters. Fortunately, it's not the same quality as getting in the PVC and the end product, but it still allows us to. They look just as good, like they look fantastic, but it's more like how brittle the resin is. We have found a bit of a solution though, which we'll be talking about in a future video about a new type of resin. But it'll probably be in about a month once I get a lot more of it in and I can run some more tests and everything. And yeah, we're going through a lot of filament, like a lot of filament. Here's the rest of the print farm, so there's 5 more printers over here. And you can see just the big stacks of everything being printed, and orders being fulfilled. Caleb is doing the last step of it. So yeah, lots of work going on in here. So I'll leave these guys to it so I don't slow them down. I'm going to interrupt right here and pop in because I realized I forgot to talk to you guys about something when I was talking about the Forge. We now have STL packages, 3D printable packages, in the Silver Vault. So if you are a MiniWarGaming Silver Vault member, we actually just added a welcome pack that anybody who becomes a Silver Vault member can get that has about $120 US worth of STLs in it. It'll be movement trays, converters, bases, widgets, and all sorts of stuff. And the plan going forward, because now James is making even more stuff and I'm getting other sculptors to make more stuff, is that every once in a while I'll add in a loyalty pack. And what that means is like, it'll be like a 3-month loyalty pack or a 6-month. So once you've been a member for 3 months or 6 months, it unlocks even more STLs. If you're a lifetime member, obviously you get everything as we add them. If you've already been around for a long time as a Vault member too, same thing. So you got to be a Silver Vault member. And we do have a lifetime Silver Vault membership sale going on right now at miniwargaming.com/lifetime. I'll put links below. Only for the next few days. They pay once and never pay again. Okay, let's get back to the tour. All right, so let's head upstairs. Got a couple more things to show you before we finish this video. Something really cool, actually, right around this corner. Going into the gaming hall. Check this out. Now, I'm going to be making a video about this later, going through the whole process, but that is a map of the old world printed with the Hexon Hills tiles. But we took the tiles, and shrunk them down 50% and printed them resin. And that way you get a much more granular map. The Age of Sigmar map I thought looked really, really cool. But now that I've seen the Hexon Hills at 50% in resin, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to full size, because you can just make such cool, detailed maps. So there's about 3,000 pieces of 3D printed stuff here, 3,000 tiles. And it took Adam from Greenleaf Terrain about 40 hours to assemble it, and then another 30, I think, to paint it. Because there's just so much detail to it as well. So he did a fantastic job. So you got like Bretonia here, the Empire, or what will be the Empire here, Kislev, coming down to the Border Princes. We got our Wood Elf, I can't remember the name of the forest where the Wood Elves live. And then that way is Khemri, where the Tomb Kings are, and then that way is where the Ogres are, and that way is where the High Elves, and then Dark Elves, and Lizardmen, and all of that kind of stuff. And the Chaos Wastes, of course, to the north. So like I said, I'm going to make a video that'll go over this way more detail of how it was done. But you can get all the stuff on our site, Hexon Hills. If you go to miniwargamingforge.com, you can buy all the STLs for this. And there's just so many of them now. There's like over 500, I think, at this point when you get the full package. And it lets you just do mountains and plains and forests and hills, settlements, coastlines. Just gorgeous. I just love this stuff to death. So we'll make a separate video covering that in more detail. Whew. So that's what's going on right now. Also, if you're still watching by this point, currently working on 3 different narrative campaigns. So for that map, we're going to be running a Total War Warhammer style campaign. You'll probably start seeing that in about a month, because we're going to start it after Adepticon. So we might start filming in 2 or 3 weeks. And that means, and we're always like a week or 2 behind for when we film to when it goes out. So you're going to see that. We're going to be starting a Path to Glory campaign soon. I put up the video of the guys making their armies. We're just waiting for, we have a new line of bases that we're coming out with, 3D printable bases. And so we're getting stuff rebased to show that off. So we'll probably start filming that right after Adepticon 2. And lastly, we got another Deathwatch campaign coming, because I just love Deathwatch. Going to be doing it with Luca, really overhauling the rules for 10th edition, because I'm finding that it was too hard to make combat interesting for 10th edition at the scale of Deathwatch, which is just a few guys. So we're bringing in some 2nd edition rules for close combat. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it so much. So 3 narrative campaigns that I'm working on right now, all of which you should start seeing. I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully over the next couple of months, you'll actually start to see all 3 of these. Or maybe you'll see the Old World one for sure, and then either Path to Glory or Deathwatch, and then the other one. So we'll put them at one at a time, obviously, because don't want to spoil you too much. Get your expectations up for what you get for everything else, as it's a lot of work to make all this stuff. Anyways, I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to head back down to the Forge and make the longer video for our Vault members and YouTube members. So don't forget that you can click the link and go watch that. If you're not currently a Vault member, just want to remind you that you can become one, 7-day free trial, or the lifetime Vault membership sale is still open. So for a limited time, you can just pay once and get a lifetime Vault membership for the cost of about 2 to 2.5 years, depending on whether you would normally pay monthly or yearly. And then never have to pay again and get access to everything that's in there, including new STLs. And even forgot to talk about that. Jeez, there's so much going on. It's easy to forget stuff, but I'll have another video about that too. Anyways, I'm going to drop off right here. Thanks so much for watching. Happy wargaming.